All right, here is a quick demonstration of the front end portion for Weirs. We're not demonstrating the back end portion because most of it can be assumed, and that's an extra effort to prepare from a demo perspective. So this is a front end proof of concept, and we'll talk about the back end and dive into those details as needed as we move through it. So here we have, on the right-hand side, we have the Weirs document that was sent over. Now this document this is actually an after process document, meaning that it has the invoice on the first two pages, which is the document that's created after the third page. The sales order is used for delivery. This is a redacted version of the document, and it was an image, but it's been OCR'd, so there's a text layer available for extraction, which we'll demonstrate as well. But I'm going to use all three of these pages for the demo because it also demonstrates how we handle multi-page documents. I'll just be using the third page for the deliverable interactions. So let's go ahead and print this into PlanetPress. This is the demonstrating how you get documents into the software. There's more than one way. This is just a very simple way. In the same way that you would send a document to a physical printer today, you can send a document to the PlanetPress printer instead as a virtual printer. And the document gets registered into the design, into the software. And then let me take my phone and cast it up. Here we are. Okay, so this is a library view of the app. I've got a few different documents, and you can see that red X at the top. That's because I do not have the back end built out for this. Again, as I mentioned, we're only doing the front end. So if I try to do a send to the server, the data does not make it from the form back to the server at the moment. So we're just showing the front end version of this for now. So I'm going to go in on this menu on the left. You can see there's the My Library. Those are local versions of the forms. Means that they live on the mobile app, which also means that you do not need a mobile connection to use the forms once they're on the app. You only need a mobile connection, an internet connection, in order to transmit the document to the device or to send the data back from the device. So that's important to note. So if you're doing deliveries and you're in places where there are not good connections, whether you're in a remote area or delivering to a building that doesn't have good Wi-Fi service or doesn't have good cell service, the form will still function. The repository here is a list of available documents. So if I scroll down, I can pull down new documents, click this download link, and it's going to grab that from the server. And now you can see the eyeball there so I can view it. I'm going to back out though and jump over to my library. You can remember that at the beginning we saw that the one with the red X was the top one, and now we have a new form and it's got a blue dot next to it. I could also search and look for the one I want. So if I had multiple, like a lot of them in here for some reason, which you should only have the ones for the day. But now if I scroll down, the other ones have disappeared and I only have the LGI homes. So you can use that searchability to help make the document a little bit simpler. So, okay, so if I look at this document, you can see here this is a mobile form. It's got more in it though than the document does. First thing to note is that at the top we have data that we've added from the document. So we've extracted information that was present in the form when we captured it, and we've extracted that data out like LGI Homes, LLC, the address, and then the order information that's associated with it. Below that, you can see the PDF, and this one here, you've got 3 pages. I'm just going to hit next so I can jump to the next page. I can also use the drop down to type in where I want to go and then click go to, and it will jump me to the last page. And now this PDF has all 3 pages in it. As I mentioned before, it's got the invoice 1 and 2, and then the third page is the sales order. And this is the actual document that would be used for the delivery. So in a real world scenario, you wouldn't see the invoice, obviously. It would only be the sales order that would be used for the delivery process. Tapping on this lets me write on the form. So if I need to get a signature here, just to use initials, and then I can back up there to remove that. I can also change this color, and I can put, this is what is it? The 18th. There we go. And then maybe the driver's initials. There you go. So we could get signatures, dates, etc. And I'm effectively just writing on this form wherever I want. If I hit next, in this case, it takes me back to the first one because I was on the last page. So here I might come in and change this and just put a big 1 on it so I can see that that's that page, and we're showing effectively that we're going to be adding the marks to the correct pages and where they go. So I'm just putting some marks that maybe wouldn't normally be there. Okay, so now we're into the barcode scanning area, and the key thing here is we've intelligently built some rules to recognize which items should have barcodes. After looking at the invoice, I could tell that not everything needed a barcode, so I just built a little bit of logic around the item numbers to have a better sense. Like if it had a dash or an underscore in it, it seemed like it was an accessory or something like that. And then there was waterline, which was one that probably shouldn't be, it wouldn't have a serial number with it. So there's a couple different ways we could go about that. But if you have a list of things that should have barcodes, or a list of business rules that tells us these ones shouldn't have barcodes, then we can include items on it so that it's for only the items that need to have a barcode. But we do need to know that business logic. I'm making assumptions for this demonstration. So you can see here I've got a scan button, and I have it on my other screen. I've pulled up a page with a lot of different barcodes on it. So these obviously aren't related to real barcodes that you need to scan, but I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. And you can see I scanned in a barcode, which actually wasn't the one I wanted. Let me try that again. Let's try to pick up that one. There you go. So I wanted to get that one because I can see what the number is at the bottom of it. The number on screen was 03600029145.2. And we can see that right there. Now the data that gets returned by the barcode scanner is actually a JSON file. That's why it looks a little funny. For the demo, I'm just using that because I wanted to show that when we do scan a barcode, we get more information than just the barcode data itself. As you can see over here where it says format, that is telling us the kind of barcode it is. So there's other bits of information that are gathered with that, so it's not just the barcode. That means that we can do other things with the barcode because we could recognize, if needed, the type of barcode, and we might know more about it. So as an example, I could potentially, if you told me that every barcode for Whirlpool had the same format, but you also sell GE and their barcodes have a different format, we could potentially recognize that in the barcode information. So there's a lot you can do with it. So again, I could scan some other ones. I'm going to scan a different kind of barcode here. I'm going to pick up a QR code. You can see it shows QR over in the format, and it's got this funny F767 number. And then let me see if I can find one more to scan. Or well, I guess I need a couple more. Okay, so let's try that. Let's try to scan a couple other barcodes for this. Barcode value for each of those. And the main thing is I just wanted to show that we had the barcode for, we got several different formats. We've got the EIN, the QR code, there's a code 93 in there, and another QR code at the bottom. So obviously we can scan different ones. So we've scanned each of those. We could make the form also not submittable unless you enter in some data element. And we can hide the barcode data field like that and still capture it in that form, and then create a field that could be typed in if you wanted to allow your team to type it in, because maybe some things have barcodes or they have serial numbers that do not have barcodes. You might need to type that in rather than scan it. If that was the case, we could make it a field that you're allowed to type in. We would recommend not doing that because ideally you want to scan it so that you don't misrecord it, but it's a possibility. Okay, then the next thing would be, what if there's an issue with something, right? So maybe you want all items to be there. Let me go ahead and I'll take a quick picture of this. I'll just, we'll stick with that item. And then I'll take a quick picture. There's an item. Use this. And then maybe I want to mark on here what the issue is. That's something funky there. Or maybe I have a different one. I can add a row. I can choose a different item and then take a picture for this one as well. Something definitely different with that one. There you go. Use that photo. And there's that thing, maybe a question mark. What is that? Also, that looks a little thin to me. I'm going to beef up the thickness on this. Right, I can change the size on that too for annotations. And then here I'm going to say review submission. And then this is because I might have a clean delivery that just needs to be processed. Everything was smooth. There was no big deal. We're good. And then I might just say, so no review needed. But this case, I did have a couple things I took pictures of. I wrote on that. And so I think this should be reviewed. So I'm going to say, yes, please review. Now the submit button appears. That's important. We're showing control over the ability to submit the form. In other words, you need to use the form properly in order for you to be allowed to submit it. In this case, I'm going to hit submit. As I mentioned before, it's not going to go through because I don't have the backend set up. But that's the gist of it. So now you can see it says, hey, it's not there. It's nobody's listening. I can't send it through. That is the demo of the front end. I have two other videos that I can show that demonstrate completing the push through to generate the output from that. One is a full featured demo video. The other is a simplified version, which is based around this same concept that we're built yours with here for this proof of concept. I hope this is helpful for you. And if you have additional questions, please let us know. Thank you so much.